given where I was just about 20-25 years back, this is a miracle. What I am today and then what I was 25 years back, this is not less than a miracle.
Make the change, rearrange, and life seems strange, but you gotta keep your
And we are live, another episode of Eduardo Live, Empowering Monday, with my friend actually Santosh Kotnis, CEO and managing partner, tech entrepreneur, board member and advisor, growth strategy, global growth, VC angel investor, startup mentor, and MA, and visiting faculty business schools. My friend Santosh, we have so many similarities, and we actually touched base before the show sometimes, right? We already had some meetings, and maybe we even have a project coming up together. That's so amazing, my friend. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, and thank you so much for having me on this show. And I think I must say this: when we spoke for the first time, I felt like it's an instant connection. A mental, what I call mental connection between the two individuals, and I look forward to work with you in your dream project, and then I look forward to associate with you and then contribute in your journey, and then also get enriched by your experience, by your network, and then it allows me to talk to multiple people and then get enriched by that experience. Look forward.
I think that is the common denominator for everybody being on Eduardo Live, is that we all have that connection between us also. Not only like you and me got it, but if I present you to anybody, you will feel the same. You will like, oh, this is a nice person to talk to, right?
Great. Yeah, that's precisely how I felt. That's precisely how I felt.
So what region in India are you in?
I'm in the west part of India, an IT hub called Pune. It's a beautiful place to stay in. Very modest weather, spectacular monsoon, the rainy season for 4 months. This entire part of the country looks so beautiful. So I'm blessed to be in this part of the world. Of course, I traveled multiple countries, multiple areas, stayed in Europe, US, and in Singapore and Middle East, but finally feel like home in Pune. So just loving the experience of being here.
I have to travel to India. I can tell you the country that I have gotten most invitation to speak, to lecture, to visit is actually from India. I have like a lot of followers on what I'm doing with my writings, like the podcast and everything. And I have a lot of heart for India, I will tell you, because it started in university. Once we went to master studies, I remember there were a lot of foreign students coming, to be in the like master years with us. And my friend, I met some amazing friends there. We became friends for life, I would say. I like so much about like India, the culture. I would say the people is so similar to like Latin America, Chile. We have the thing, that we can laugh at our own like poverty or misery, right? We have the humor, like we can laugh at it. And we also have the thing that we can get very angry at things we don't like, and we like, we don't like that, right? I would say the food also. Like I like strong food, so that's what we did a lot with my friends. We cooked a lot, So I actually the first person I hired was Ventaka Apinini Apuru. He was like my first employee, I would say, when I did my startup, and. Yeah, and through him I get to know all the other foreign Indian students, right? So I started to hire them also, because this was the thing. Like, despite in those times, all the companies said that the official language is English, but they still didn't hire the foreign student. So I ended up doing that, and this is what I'm most proud about, the company that I built together with my colleagues. As most, we were like 35 employees, organic growth. Is that I have the highest number of foreign people, of engineers in my company in the region, I would say.
Wonderful. That's wonderful to know. That's wonderful to know. And then great to know that you have a soft corner for India. And then obviously I look forward to host you when everything becomes normal, Corona becomes normal, we look forward to host you. And then I'm sure India is the fantastic country to be here, both for business as well as a traveler, as a visitor for the vacations. Spectacular variety. You have beach, you have mountains, you have cold area, you have backwater, you have forest, beautifully structured country. You have everything here. So happy to host you during your next trip to India. Look forward.
And the man that are here today, tell us the story. Like, where did it start for you? Like, was it in childhood? Did you know from like birth you were going to be this amazing entrepreneur and this person that empower others, or was it something that propelled you? Tell us that. Take us through your story, my friend.
One thing, what I believe in the overall scheme of the things, or scheme of life, is the intent. So if I have an intent right, if I have an absolutely positive intent, I always believe that the entire universe conspires you to get the right set of people if your intent is right. So it happened, and it got proved in different phases of my life, not only here, but even earlier, my childhood. It got proven multiple times that whenever I have that intent, positive intent, things happen to me. Things happen by itself, and then I got all of a sudden surrounded by a set of people who are willing to help, who are willing to push me, motivate me, and then take me to the goal. To now answer your question, did I anticipate that I will become the person what I am today? Not at all. Absolutely not. I could never imagine that I would become at least 1% of what I am today, in terms of whatever it is. I never thought that I will travel internationally. I would never thought that I will be doing business one day. Leave it aside. I never thought that I will talk in English in one day. It looks very, very ironic, but let me take you to my story. Born in a very small village in a rural part of India, where the primary basic necessities are not met properly. But no complaints about it. Had a spectacular early childhood, but the luck was not in my favor. Lost my dad very earlier on, when I was 8 years old, and thereafter had a big struggle of a life where the basic needs was not taken care of, and then what it taught me all those struggling days. Of course, my mother single-handedly brought me and my sister up. She's a great lady, where I learned how to be strong, how we can really struggle in life, and then how one can ask for the things, because when you are thrown into a swimming pool, that's where you learn the swimming. So had a little bit of a tough life earlier on, and then that really made me one thing is motivated towards education. One thing earlier on, I realized that one thing which can change my life, which can change my family's life, and then which can alter our family's living standard is education. So that's the reason why I gave a lot of importance in my life to the education, and then it was duly supported by that intent. What I mean, I had an intent of doing a good education. And then luckily I got supported by a set of people. I will remember my guru, my mentor in this chat, who has been an instrumental force throughout my college days, who motivated me. He came unknown. He came all of a sudden in my life, and then I believe that intent was right. And had been a good student in the academics, being their university rank holder and so on and so forth. Got into a prestigious Indian Institute of Technology, which is ranked as top Indian universities, ranked like first first 10. Again, there is an intent came into picture. That duration really changed my life. I would say that it gave a positiveness to my life. It gave a purpose to my life, and then it allowed me to dream, because I was all of a sudden got associated with the bright brains of India, great professors, and great set of associations with foreign universities. I think I should be thankful for Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, for shaping me or shaping my initial thoughts. And then after that, typical lifestyle went in, joined a company out of college, and had a good starting point. I went to Singapore, stayed there, and then went to US and went to school there. I did my business schooling in the US, and got married to a beautiful and great lady who has been a great support to my whatever endeavors I've been doing throughout my life. She's been a great support mentally and emotionally. I think you will understand more than what I do. The family plays a great role in somebody's life. So fortunate enough to have a great wife who supports me emotionally and mentally, and then we are blessed with a great daughter. So she's becoming an young lady who supports me and then who understands me more than anything else. And thereafter worked in US for 5 years. Came back to India, worked here for a year, and then went to become the offshore head of a Norwegian entity. You know this Tieto. Earlier it was Erga Group, and then become Every, and then ultimately it become Tieto Every now. I started handling a certain small unit of this Norwegian company, and then we grew. And by the time I worked there for 6 years, and then it gave a spectacular view of Europe as a country, and Europe as a culture. And I must say this: I grew as a person in those days by interacting with people, learning from their experiences, because life is not all about learning all by yourself, but you need to also learn from others' experiences. So fortunate enough to work with great minds in the Europe, had multiple great interactions, and before I decided that I want to become a technical entrepreneur, and then started a technology services company, and then with my friends, finally we are here with Spring Up Capital, a VC fund. Life has not been as smooth or as easy as how I explained in last 5 minutes. It's been a rough journey all along. But one thing, it taught me how to balance in life, because one thing what I understood throughout the life is that there will be good and bad. There will be a positive and negative. There will be plus and minuses. So my rough life earlier taught me that how to take everything as a balance, how to take this in a realistic way, and then how to take it with a firm stand. Because when you are exposed to a rough environment earlier on, then you know how to become firm. You know how to make your own decisions. I see my childhood where I was left to myself to make my own decisions since young age. I think I see my entrepreneurial characters in those days, because Luckily, unluckily, I was left to do my own decisions, the courses, whatever I'm supposed to select, the places wherever I'm supposed to go. So it made me an independent person, and it really helped me when I kind of decided of leaving the corporate life and becoming an entrepreneur. It really helped me to take my own decisions. I think that is the fundamental term. In spite of having a rough childhood, that is what I learned. And then second important thing, again, I come back to the intent part of it, because throughout the life, at every corner, when there was a major decision waiting for me, I kind of had that intent moment in those days, or in those times. All of a sudden, I got help. All of a sudden, I found myself surrounded with like-minded people, positive people who are motivating me and pushing me ahead. And I think I always feel fortunate and then thankful to God for whatever I got in my life. I think I could not have asked a better life than this. Why I'm saying this is, given where I was just about 20-25 years back, this is a miracle. What I am today, and then what I was 25 years back, this is not less than a miracle. So thankful to the God for giving a great life, great people to associate with, great family to support, and then I will also add great friends like you who will motivate, who will educate, who will make me to learn, and then give me a shoulder to share my sorrows and joys whenever it was needed. So that's summary of my life.
That was a beautiful story. I was so inspired, and usually that's the case for like most old entrepreneurs that I know. I know really big ones. I know some of them not so big. Maybe it depends what you define, right? But I know people that live their passion, I would say. That's the common denominator, that they live their passion. They found their destiny. They don't wake up in the morning thinking, what should I do with my life? We don't get life crisis. It's like we get life crisis, but for other things. Maybe we're not having too much focus on our parenting, right? That is what stresses us. We are not stressed about what we should do. We know what we should do. Like when we go to sleep, when we wake up, we know all the time what we should do. You know, that is how I see it. Another common denominator, I think, for most of them that I know is that we didn't have such a good upbringing. You know, either we were missing something. It could be a parent, or we maybe lived in a maybe toxic environment, in a not so good area, maybe. So. And that was usually my case, was a combination. I would say that I was hit hard with racism coming to Sweden at 5, you know, because I was usually that colored kid. And my parents were very academical, like we should live with the Swedes so we can integrate, but I couldn't camouflage, right? When you get 7 years old, you go to school, you don't want to be seen, right? I couldn't hide, you know. So I got it really hard, you know, and for me, it was like, it shaped me so many ways, because I was the computer nerd, I was the book nerd inside, but I had to toughen up, you know, because that was the environment that I had. Like I couldn't take more beatings. I was like sick of it, you know, like I don't want to experience this evilness no more, you know, but deep inside me, I was still that nerd, you know. So I can say that I had some, like my life, I can't say that it was so good until I actually entered university. It went up and down, I would say. But I always had my grandmother and my mother, but she passed away when I was 22. So she could never see my rise, I would say, as a man, you know. She didn't experience that before, because that was when I still haven't entered university. That's the only regret I would have in life, I would say, that I didn't, she wasn't there, you know. So I have to say condolences about what you told me with your father, because I know how it feels to lose a parent such a young age, you know, that they can't be there with your children. There are so many things that you wish that they could experience, you know, and we can never get that, you know. We can never get that dream to life, you know. We can live in their memories and hope that they see us from heaven. Now, look what we're doing now, you know. Look what we're doing now.
Yeah. So I think that's what it is. But one thing again, as I said, like fortunate enough, and met great people, and then as I said, I keep telling this is nothing less than a miracle. Like what has happened in life, nothing less than a miracle. God has been kind enough to bless me to what I am today. And then, but one thing it also happened. I mean, I think I also must mention about my different friends here who bought me or who introduced me to different things. Like somebody introduced me to astrophysics. I am big in astrophysics. Somebody introduced me to astronomy. Somebody introduced me to philosophy. Somebody introduced me to sports. Somebody introduced me to science. So I'm kind of having a wide variety of interest, which I think is another way of balancing myself, because you will get to see me waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning and watching otherwise boring American football live streams in the TV. You will watch me waking up at 6 o'clock and reading a book on astrophysics. You will see me going out in the night and then seeing the stars and then trying to match them. Okay, this is the story, or what exactly is this? And then trying to correlate or trying to draw a parallel between the stars and the moons and the Indian philosophy. It's like wide variety of things. What really keeps me motivated and energetic, because there's never been, as you rightly said, there's never been a dull day in life. Like I never woke up in the morning thinking that what I'm supposed to do. It's been a spectacular thing. So never it happened. So it's full of energy, a lot of motivation to do multiple things, and then keep working towards the final goal.
That was poetry. I could listen to that all day. That is what I love when my guests when they come and they open themselves this way. Is that it's like live poetry, and that is what the audience they like so much, because we're touching base as humans, right? Another human to another. We're not talking about title or roles anymore. That was just the opening, but now it's like the humans, right, talking to each other. And
correct.
My grandmother, she was like this nugget factory. I could write I don't know how many books with her nuggets. She always had a nugget for everything. Regarding what you just said with the thing with your friends that introduced you, she said to me once, Eduardo, if you tell me who you're walking with, I will tell you where you will walk, she said. Like friendship doesn't grow on a tree. That is what my belief is. So I hold on to the ones I have. And another thing that I think is important, that I think is that you choose. I think you choose your path by your mindset. I think because Dimitri, he said something interesting. He said to me on the show. He said, Eduardo, if I have to choose between positivity and negativity, I choose positivity. And that is what I think that you're doing, right? You're choosing positivity in your life, and then it comes. The universe works in that way, right? That what you choose is what will come to you from the universe.
Correct. Absolutely.
So I really like that part. And another thing I have, the question I have now for you is that somebody. That's another nugget from my grandmother, was that she said that, Eduardo, this world is made by the people that moves around, she said. You will probably not become prophet in this city, she said.
Yeah.
So have this moving around for you. Tell us how it has, like, regarding to what I just said, do you feel the same, that for you moving around these countries and everything that you did, did it propel you to rise higher than maybe if you would have stayed only in your city?
No, absolutely. it really propelled my dream. It really propelled my aspiration, and then it kind of really motivated me to try new things, because the culture plays an important role. And then I think I can, like say, when I traveled to Europe and then stayed there, so I was kind of excited or surprised to know that the social fabric of Europe is such that you can try something. Even if you fail, it's okay. You can try something else. So this was a big thing for me. I mean, I can keep doing the same thing what I've been doing throughout the life, or try something different, take a risk, and then try to do something different which we haven't done so far. I must tell you this. I ran my first half marathon when I was 38 years old. I never had a practice of running in my life, but I ran my first marathon when I was 38 years old. Where did I learn that from? Again, to the great people I met, the culture where I got inspired from. Not necessarily I'm saying that this is an achievement. I'm not saying that running a half marathon is an achievement in any way. But what I'm trying to say is that what they call as a pushing the envelope, trying to do something different. I will tell you the story that the first 10 years of my professional career, I was more of a product management, product development, much into managing the business, which is into product management and the functional area. And the next 10 years was completely opposite. I was into managing the infrastructure, the network, and the cloud, which is completely opposite to what the product development is. Now, did I stop there? No. Now, I am talking about becoming a VC guy. Like, just imagine an IT guy throughout the life who has done this kind of a IT services business, transforming himself into a VC firm. I have absolutely no background of investment banking, but again, the intent. I had that intent, and then now, if I look at the team, Spring Up team, we have investment bankers, we have technology expert, we have people who have connects with investors, have absolutely brilliant platform guys, amazing strategy guys. This all because of that intent. So what I believe is that ability to transform ourselves at a different phase of life, that will keep us motivated, that will keep us young, that will keep us energetic all the time. And then I believe that gives the purpose in the life, because if I am stuck with my whatever I'm doing, I'm not saying or I have all the respect for the people who have been doing that. Don't take me wrong. I don't demean if a person does the same thing throughout his or her life. I'm not necessarily saying that is bad. But what I'm trying to say is that this worked for me. Transforming myself at a different phase of life is what really worked me. But one thing I would like to have a caution here. In when you say that I want to transform my life and get inspired by different cultures, you need to have a supporting family who understands this, who gives emotional support to this. Because without that, it's not possible. Because you can't say that every other year I want to transform, but you don't get a support from family. That doesn't go very well. So it's a combination of multiple things. Having those intents in life, there is a purpose in life, and then having the supporting family, and then intention of transforming yourself. I think that's a combination of multiple things which will help at the end.
And everybody I'm connecting you with now, you will just connect with him immediately, because it's like, for me, every time it's like meeting a brother that you didn't know existed, right? Because there are so many similarities. There are so many similarities. So then I have to ask you a question about that. That is, are entrepreneurs made, born or made? And do they have a characteristic that you can define them when you meet like the young entrepreneurs, right? What are the characteristic that you think that they should have, to be able to, let's say, have an easier ride than maybe if you don't have it, you will need to train harder, right? You will need to grind harder. But what are the characteristics that makes it easier to be an entrepreneur, would you say?
Yeah. Okay. So I think this is a very common question. I think I've been asked multiple times, and I know that there is no definite answer whether an entrepreneur is made or built or been there since beginning. So my answer is this: is none of the entrepreneurs are born entrepreneurs. They are all made. Their journey taught them certain things, and then even being an entrepreneur itself is a journey. And then nobody will dream when you are a kid that I want to become an entrepreneur and then I want to do this. But while you keep working with them, you get inspirational stories. You get inspired by them. You get to know a few people who have really made it, really struggled. Say for example, people like Steve Jobs. Those are like inspirational stories, or Elon Musk nowadays, or Jeff Bezos. When you read their stories, they were never been an entrepreneur by birth, right? So they got into that thinking. They got into that motivational level by the virtue of which they become an entrepreneur, and then they wanted to say, as Steve Jobs said, I want to create a dent on this universe, right? And that is what I believe. Like entrepreneurs are made in the process, and then of course there is no definite answer that you need to go through 1, 2, 3, 4 in order to become an entrepreneur. But most important thing is there are some characteristics which I believe are helpful for entrepreneurs. One is ability to take risk. Number two is to work in ambiguity, because being an entrepreneur, life will never be 1, 2, 3, 4. It's always between 1 to 3 and 3.5 to 4 and 4.5 to 1.9. So it's always an ambiguous situation. Nothing is clear. And the third point is that being comfortable with unknown people. When I say this, you need to go out in the market and then start working with unknown people. Start selling yourself to unknown people. Start selling your dream. Look at what exactly an entrepreneur does. He sells his idea. He or she sells his or her idea to his colleagues, co-founders. He or her sells his or her idea to venture capitalists. He or they sell the idea to the customers. They sell their idea to their team members. Like, say for example, if I have a small company having absolutely no brand, nobody will join me. So then I will do a selling of my dream. I will do a selling of myself to my future employees. So being an entrepreneur is all about selling yourself throughout the life while you are an entrepreneur. And most importantly, an intention or an ability to do the job all by yourself. You don't have a secretary to book your tickets. You don't have a team to work for you. You don't have an executive assistant to prepare the email replies or a presentation. So you have to make your presentation. You have to reply to your emails. You have to book your own tickets, and you are ready to compromise your comfort of life entrepreneur is 24/7 job. So you have to be up and running. One of the entrepreneur whom I met, he told me a very beautiful thing. He was trying to sell his company to VCs. He jokingly told me that in those days, even if you wake me up, I would start my pitch. That okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is how I was tuned. Just imagine. He said that in a joking way, but it tells me the mindset of an entrepreneur, ability to work hard, ability to keep motivated yourself, because entrepreneurship is all about ups and downs in the life. In the same day morning, you will feel on the top of the mountain, and then after 2 hours, you start feeling that why on this earth I am doing this? Why can't I take a job and then be comfortable? Right? So these are emotional ups and downs of throughout the day. And then how I balance myself. And then in spite of all odds, how I keep myself motivated. And then how I keep myself energetic. And then whatever problem I might be facing as an entrepreneur, I shield myself from all those emotional disturbances, but still be in a controlling position in front of my team members, because we are a small company. Entrepreneurship is all about being small, and then if I get disturbed, my entire team gets disturbed. So how I, in spite of me going through a mental trauma of managing this company, how stable I look. Emotional quotient I talk about. Emotional quotient. So these are the fundamental things. And then one final thing, every entrepreneur, whomever I have known, has been working extremely hard. I maybe there are some success stories, but I haven't heard where an entrepreneur made it big, being a successful, not working hard enough. I haven't seen any case of that sort. There could be, but entrepreneurship is all about working hard, really working hard, and then. So now the important characteristics what I'm talking about here. Now what I'm doing, I mean, most important thing I want to talk about is that while I learn all this, while I got inspired from others. By the way, I'm big into reading. I read a lot. I read biographies. I read business books and then history and a wide variety of reading. But when I read this book, these are the learnings of life. When I met people, these are the learnings of life. When I heard stories, these are the learnings of life. And then now my question is that can I translate this into some characteristics and then transform into my next generation? As I said, I have an young lady at home, 15 years old, getting ready to get into the world. So now I'm experimenting with her. I'm trying to tell her how to sell yourself. I'm trying to tell her how to possibly dream bigger than what I could ever imagine I could dream. So I'm telling her how to build network. I'm telling her how to modulate your voice, very small thing. How to build your energy, how to keep your energy optimum level, how to work hard. Why it is important to work hard in life? Because I am yet to see a person who got everything in his life, name, fame, whatever, without working hard. So these are the fundamental things. I'm just trying to crystallize everything, try to learn from others, and then give it is a 10-point agenda, 15-point agenda to my daughter, so that at least she has a starting point. I mean, no doubt she has to run her own life. Her trajectory would be quite different than what mine is, and I completely aware of that fact. But at least can I give some crystal points? Can I give some bullet points to her, saying that these are the fundamental characteristics which one need to develop while your life grows, so that she can. I mean, that's my dream. I would like to see her being an entrepreneur. And then build larger businesses than I could ever imagine or ever I built. And then I'd like to see that's a dream now. That's what I'm aspiring to.
That was so beautiful said. Research said the point you said. Research said that some people, they were born with a genetic skill set that has these kind of things already from birth, but it will not make them guaranteed an entrepreneur. For that, you need to actually jump in the river, right? The only thing that it will be easier for you, the journey, like Steve Jobs, he had that genetic setup that helped him a lot to propel, a lot to propel because of taking the risk, like you said, working hard. But if you don't do the jump in the river, nothing will happen. You will look all your life, right? Even if you have the the right genes, I would say it will not help you if you're not willing to grind. And I can tell you, this is my daily. Every day is the same for me. I go up at 5 or 6 in the morning. I do my kind of check-in meditation to put my mindset in the right place. I do a lot of gratitude practice. Then I make breakfast for the children. I put out their clothes. Maybe my wife is having she has a chronic back injury, so she's having a bad week maybe, so she can't do force, Then I need to do everything. Then I take them up. I give them the breakfast. I take them to kindergarten. Then I go home. If I'm lucky, I'm home at I can leave them at 7. That's a really good day. Then I'm back at 7:30 and I work until 4. I go and get the children. Then, like I said, if we're having this tough week, I need to do everything there also, and then I need to be with them until they sleep, and then at 8, hopefully they're sleeping, and then I work to 12. And people tell me, Eduardo, you did a bonus from 10 years ago, or you're not afraid to do that again? And then I tell them, working hard is not what is burning you out; it's what you're working with that will burn you out. And the second thing I do now is that I try not, if you call me and it's like children time, they are awake, I will tell you, sorry, you have to wait, because I don't want to be that abandoned father. Justin Breen, he's amazing, man. I need to connect you too. He said, Eduardo, do you want to die as the lone rich guy at the cemetery that nobody remembers? And that was for me, he's so right? And he said, if you don't put your family first, I don't want to know you, he said. He just said it, and that's, I think, is also a common denominator.
Right, that's an amazing thought, actually, Eduardo, because family first is a great thought to have, and then prioritizing family over anything is because I'm making a very bold statement here, but none of these corporate achievements or corporate friends will come when you are low. Your family comes. So it is extremely important to prioritize family. And again, I'm not saying that you have to choose in between, but there is an art where you can balance both. And then you rightly said, what you do since morning. I can summarize this. You are keeping time to yourself, self. You are taking care of family. You are taking care of kids. And then, in spite of doing all these things, you are working hard. Say 10 to 4 and 8 to 12 is if I can count those many hours, it's amazingly 12 hours a day. It's too much for working. But you are doing that effortlessly. You are taking care of yourself. You are taking care of your sleep. You are taking care of your spiritual part of you by doing the meditation and gratitude. And taking care of the household stuff and being a good dad by dropping them. One thing I liked when my daughter was kid is dropping her to school. I did that. I did that good long 8-10 years until she started going to school in her school bus. Everybody in Norway knew that is a time when Santosh would be gone to pick her daughter up, and then I blocked my calendar so that nobody can ever schedule an appointment or a call in that time. So absolutely, again, one more point which is having a similarity between me and you. Amazing.
And also another thing that I do is that because I'm doing the meditation in the morning and the evening, is that it's Friday, right, and I feel my body, my heart is like pumping, and I'm totally, how can I say, exhausted. That's for me the warning sign. That was what happened when I did the burnout. I didn't listen to those signs, right? So now when I feel that sign that I've been pushing it too hard, the weekend I do nothing. I do nothing. It's like I'm with my children, I listen to music, I do some poetry, and I do this. Now I have also, that's my children's painting, but I'm also did start to paint, right? I do the things that makes me not think, right? I just take the brain and I just cool it down, you know. So I take breaks. It's not that I don't do it, but I do it when I feel it, you know. And that's what is so important. And that's the thing I invited you to do, that to make this entrepreneur journey up, the things that I showed you, is to give the entrepreneurs a much better ride, you know. Try to take control of your ride. Don't let the roller coaster ride you. I would say at least put a handbrake inside the wagon, right? That's what I didn't do before, you know. Before it was like, I was like, it's going faster. I was like, yeah, and then I just crashed, right? So what I did now is that, okay, it's the same roller coaster. Nothing have changed. That is how that's the ride. But what I did is that I just added a handbrake, you know, to the wagon. So that is the only thing that I did, my friend. So do you have this?
It's a great analogy.
Do you have this? Do you have anchors in your life to break when you need to take a step to the side and just don't be there?
I do that. I do that quite often. Some days I go completely blank, in the sense that I don't do anything. And of course, my wife has been my bouncing board. And one of the things what I learned in Norway is sometimes when I really need a break, then I go in the woods, go with my daughter for mountain hiking and or stargazing, those sessions, where as a family we kind of throughout the day we spend one day in the woods. It has some healing power for some reasons, or maybe it's my belief that spending a day in the woods really heal you. This is something which I learned in Norway, by the way. Just hanging in there, absolutely don't do anything. Take your food and then stay there with trees and mountains and waters. By end of the day, I will be fresh again. So essentially, yeah, the bouncing board, emotional support, plus spending time with quality music is something which I do a little bit. Painting, absolutely no. I cannot paint for my life. If you ask me to paint a human being, I will somewhere draw a donkey. I'm so bad in the painting. But reading is something I really love. And then Fridays and Saturdays, generally we watch movie together as a family, and that's like, again, a stress buster. But what I really like about cooling down is doing nothing. I mean, I can spend a day or two doing nothing, taking a short breaks with family. Just get out to a beach or again a natural place. The man-made things never fascinates me. So as a family, we are alike in that. Whenever there is a stress situation, we find a way to break into a natural place like a beach or a mountain or a forest or something like that. And I think that will really refresh us all together. And then one thing I also need to tell you, while Corona is bad for the business, bad for the world, bad for the overall thing, but I think Corona has been a blessing for, at least for me, where a person who used to travel a lot, so was in home since last 1 year, I could able to work from home, I could able to interact with family and understand their perspective completely. And then I think that changed me as a person. That changed me, or rather, there was a little bit of a transformation happened because of that as well. Because all along the life has been that calls and then meetings and the travels. But now I really took it slow. I did prioritize my things, and then now I have realized that everything has a meaning in life. Everything has its own definition in life. So I think we need to we need to slow down. Corona taught us in a wrong way, perhaps, but there is a positivity in Corona that it taught us that there is absolutely necessary to slow down in whatever you are doing, whether you are an IT entrepreneur, whether you are in a VC firm, whether you are working in a corporate, whether you are a flight attendant or a pilot or whatever you are. I think it taught us a beautiful lesson that slow down, look at your surrounding, bond with your people physically, and then appreciate the beauty of life. I think this is how this is what I learned in Corona. Of course, it's bad for the business, bad for the community, bad for the world. That is all aside. But if I can find some positivity in Corona, this is what my learning would be.
That was so beautifully said. So I'm researching now about the entrepreneur life journey. That is what I'm looking at now. And that's so interesting to do, because you see this kind of red line that's similar to, like I said, the upbringing, the struggle, and then they overcome something and they propel in life, and then they fall down, they go up again, and they're like the journey, right? And what I see now is this correlation that they hit a maturity level when they realize that the more money they earn, it will not make them happier. Like, okay, now I bought 5 cars, and now I'm still not fully happy, right? And then they go into this spiritual journey, like, maybe I need to go somewhere there. And then you have these places, very expensive, where you can go in the forest to be with other entrepreneurs that also have this life crisis, that they realize that, okay, the second billion didn't make me happy, right? So what they do is that they touch base with the nature, and this is what annoys me a lot with society or the media, I would say. Don't look down at the people that live with the nature, because maybe they're doing something right that you are not doing, my friend, right? So please, like, have respect for the native people in this world, because maybe they're more happier than we are, because they are living, like you said, and this is what I believe now after all the years living. I would say it's 2 conclusions. One, you need to follow the flow of the universe. Like you and me meeting, that was meant to be. Like I can say it now, because now I have seen it. That's how it is, like it's all propelling us to some place more and more. And the second thing I would say now that I will try to do now is that you can't lose touch with the nature. So what I'm doing now is that I'm going to implement the Saturday do nothing day. Not only because what I'm doing wrong now, I would say that's what I don't like to talk about how I work, because if people do that, I would say 50% of them will burn out if you work at my tempo. I have that genetic, I don't know what to call it, damage or positivity, but I have that it only works for me and a couple of other people. It doesn't mean that you should do that. And I'm saying, please don't do what I do. But what I'm going to add is I'm going to add a day where I close the carousel. I would say, that today is not even a handbrake. Today, the carousel is closed for today. Closed Saturday.
For today, yes. Yes. It's closed for today. Closed for the ride, for the public. So today is a holiday.
Yeah, it's closed for Saturday. So this is the thing I will do now, is that to finish up the show now today. It was an amazing talk. We need to do part 2. This was, for me, this was part 1. We still haven't touched base on like parenting more. We should do that. So I'm going to invite you to my book. I would like you to write a nugget for entrepreneurship chapter. I would love if you would.
Oh, sure.
To
contribute.
To
one thing, parenting is one of my favorite topic. I've been practicing that, and of course, I don't know whether it will be successful or not, but I think that's one of my favorite subject. Happy to talk on that. I can talk on and on about parenting, about my experiences, what I learned. That's one of my favorite subjects.
I think I will do a group episode. I will bring you. Solomon is actually writing a book. He's a serial entrepreneur. He's writing a book about entrepreneur parenting, actually. So I think what we could do is a group episode, you together with me, and let's say two more dad entrepreneurs, or even, no, we should have a mother entrepreneur also, Rocio. Yeah, you, me, Rocio Perez, Solomon, and maybe some other mother, to tell that story, to talk about an episode about parenting, living your passion, I would say. So, my dear friend, we come to the end now. And how can people contact you? What is the best method if they want to reach out to you? You really inspired some people today, I know that. So, how can they touch base with you?
Yeah. Okay. So, LinkedIn is the only social media I'm there. I think I'm up to date. LinkedIn, you can search by my name. You will
Let
find
me
it
open
on
up the tab here. 1 second, I will open up on the screen so people can see it.
Yeah, so you can write a message giving the context of this live show. Would be happy to connect, happy to learn from your experience. That's what I've been doing throughout my life. Learn from others' life. And if you have an idea or if you have an experience to share, or it could be a business opportunity or whatever it could be, without business as well, would just love to interact with you, get in touch with you. Of course, we can get into a call after that, but you can start with LinkedIn. So that's
and we both joined. We actually both joined Digital Ventures, and we have to say, I will say, David Holm, if you're listening to this episode, you're a man of making things happen, and you're a true follower of the universe. I would say, since I met David Holm, I would say the first day I was like, oh my God, I like that man so much. He always makes things happen around him, and he connects people, That's what I love. So I will pay credit now to Digital Ventures. Both me and my friend Santosh here on the show, we will be part of this. We will be expert mentors. So go also to the Digital Well website and check it out. So we will be there. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Any last nugget you would like to share, a short nugget to the audience?
Yes, certainly. As I said, throughout the life, the passion is what becomes the guiding life for the life. No life is perfect. Everybody makes mistakes, but if you have a correct passion, I think that will keep you motivated all the time. And I think a motivated life is a blessed life. And I think if you have that passion, you will know how to overcome the obstacles. You will have enough energy, both mentally and physically, to come over any downfalls of your life, any low moments of your life, and then you will figure out a way how to come out of that and then still be happy and successful. So that is the guiding principle of life, or at least that passion has been my guiding principle in my life. So which straightened multiple corners of my life journey.
I just wrote a nugget of what you just said that I will put on. I'm dedicated to you, my friend. You're the originator of this nugget. You want to hear it?
Wonderful.
Motivated life is a blessed life. So search and find your passion.
Excellent. I think you kind of summarized what all I wanted to say. And then thank you so much, Eduardo, to have me on this show. It's a pleasant experience to visit your life through you. It's kind of I visited my own life through your eyes, and I think it's an absolutely brilliant experience to talk to you, and then finally to just to repeat, to know that you have another person who is exactly identical to you, some other part of the country, other part of the globe, but still identical to you, and then who thinks like you. So absolutely amazing to get a person like this, and more power to you, Eduardo, for what all you are doing in both professional and personal life. Your amazing ability to connect people and motivate people, and then be one reason for their smile in their life. More power to you, and I hope you achieve whatever you are aspiring to in your life.
I would say to us. So let's take a group picture and then we will drop the mic. Smile for the camera.
Make the change, rearrange, and life seems strange, but you gotta keep your aim, stay focused on the game, don't quit. Quitters never win, winning all begins when you begin to believe in yourself again. Yeah, ready, fire, aim, gotta get that. Negativity in my life, gotta get back. Positivity tastes sweet like a Kit Kat. Unity in the communities.